What celebrity that is generally well liked is a no-go for you? Michael Caine. Every appearance in every movie for the last 20 years has been the same smug geezer. And it falls flat every time. It's like he's almost a worse stereotype of a Brit than fucking Dick Van Dyke in Mary Poppins. Spending 15 minutes with him exposition dumping in the middle of Children of Men straight up ruined that movie for me. Literally just left the room first time watching it. Every scene he was in The Prestige was like nails on a chalkboard. Christian Bale smashing the light out of two roles, and opposite him is a self-satisfied git having a flaccid wank. Dave Grohl. He and his bandmates were AIDS deniers. Like it was on their website and they would have this lady come on stage and talk about it. She died of AIDS and she killed her daughter by breastfeeding her despite knowing she was positive. They all promoted that AIDS is a hoax and not caused by HIV. He has never apologized for it. He actively promoted these lies. He allowed this lady's charity to advertise on the Foo Fighters website, and they were listed as their preferred behavior is just so fucking harmful. I will never forgive him for this. I think a lot of actresses aren't actually good at acting and they're all just playing themselves in everything they're in. I like seeing them, but saying they're great at acting is a lie. First example off the top of my head, Jesse Eisenberg quite literally plays himself in everything he's ever been in with absolutely no range. Even in The Social Network as Zuckerberg, he's just Jesse Eisenberg saying Zuckerberg dialogue. Going to say one that I haven't seen mentioned yet, Awkwafina. Her stage name is just stupid to begin with. She's been in everything lately and she plays the same character over and over. Her voice acting is Chris Pratt levels of mediocre as it's just her speaking. I will say kudos to her as well as Chris Pratt for taking full advantage of their popularity while it lasts. But she's not enjoyable to me. If you mean celebrity as in actor, musician, etc. Every single one of them. More so actors too. I've never understood why anyone looks up to them. The reality is that anyone that likes an actor is looking up to the people they play in the movies shows, not the actor themselves. That people think they are heroes. It's so gross. Only little children jump on people's couches. Well, that's what I thought until Tom Cruise came along, greasy piece of shit. Taylor Swift, she is playing 6 shows in Toronto in November. I gotta leave the city at that time if I can afford it, anyone take me in. I once matched with a guy on Tinder, and he had on his profile huge fan of Kristen Bell. I was never a big fan of hers. Maybe I associated her too closely with Sarah Marshall, but she comes across cold and annoying to me. I told the guy that and he immediately unmatched me. Gary Barlow, loved by every middle-aged woman in the UK. Strangely nice. And Take That's resurrection was second only to Jesus Christ. The too nice thing always bugged me, so I felt some satisfaction when he was caught tax dodging. Probably blown his knighthood now as well. Tom Hanks. He just gives me major creeps. I don't particularly mind him in a movie. He's a good actor, but outside of a movie, damn, them eyes are sinister. Honestly, if it came out he had a torture dungeon with kidnapped victims chained up in it, I would not be surprised. I don't understand the thing with Tom Holland. I feel like his entire appeal is that he looks and sounds like a child, which makes me seriously creeped out by all the 40-year-olds who think he's hot, especially considering he was underage in some of those movies. This is niche for the UK, but Stacey Solomon. She's everywhere and I can't stand her for purely petty reasons. Every time I turn on my TV, she's either renovating people's houses, decluttering people's houses, or trying to sell me washing powder or some other crap. I think Taylor Swift is a garbage human being. She has relationships just to write negative songs about the guys. She campaigns for DFL candidates, but when asked about actual issues, she can't answer any of the questions with any substance. It's all platitudes. Johnny Depp. I cannot stand him and haven't liked him well before the controversy with Amber Heard. So setting that mess aside, I have thought for decades that he's too hammy and extremely irritating as an actor. I can't stand to see him in movies. Lewis Capaldi. His simpleton-type persona doesn't come across as cute. It comes across as fucking annoying. He reminds me of the one kid in the class who needs a special pen to write with. Also, his singing is way overrated. Beyonce. Nothing personal. I know she's a great performer and very talented, but she yells way too much. Almost like unnecessarily, and it gives me anxiety, haha. Her music gives me anxiety. That's it. I said what I said, haha. DJ is not generally liked. IDK. But I definitely don't single quotes d. Jerry Seinfeld 100. What an arrogant, unfunny prick. Always stops a story before the punchline. The way he went off on Larry King is irredeemable. Pedro Pascal. He seems like a nice enough guy in interviews. But he's in everything these days, so I'm kinda tired of seeing him. And it's not like he's that great an actor to be given so many lead roles. Tom Hanks. I don't like his nice guy persona. It's too out on and he seems like he could be vindictive. Apparently, they sent Chet Hanks to one of those troubled teen places as well, which is horrible. Anyone in American Horror Story? I watched all the seasons just to see the concept and art, but goddamn it is cesspool of awful actors being called iconic. Slay me with a chainsaw, please. Shaq gives lots of financial support and attention to the Collins family. Glad the kids are getting something good out of it. But so gross to be supporting those awful people at all. Most of them. TBH. Actually. All of them. Just act. Sing. Do whatever you do. But I don't want to hear anything about their private lives. How did they dress or what did they say? Beast, it's been proven that he does good for people. But something about him doesn't sit right with me. I have a feeling he's not as nice off camera as he appears in his videos. Any of them TBH, slimy industry. I know not everyone's bad, but who would want to be associated with all those people? Second only to politicians. Don't want to know any of them. Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool was good, and I still like the character in regards to the comics, but it's all Ryan Reynolds plays now, even in movies where Deadpool isn't around. Ryan Gosling. I don't actually know anything bad that he's done. But I had a dream once where he cut in front of me in the line at the grocery store. So fuck that guy. I have to say I've never seen as many posts hating on Tom Hanks before. One of the genuinely most loved actors around. Is this a thing now? Mr. Rogers is next. Tom Cruise. I don't get it. Never did. He's even short what is the hype for? Also, the Scientology. He's either incredibly dumb or just okay with evil acts. Ryan Reynolds has far outlived his shtick. It was good, but he has nothing to offer outside of what he has done so many times that it is now just annoying. Drake is the kind of guy who would be depressed and heartbroken if the 13-year-old he was grooming dumped him for the cute boy on the soccer team. I really dislike Martin Short's performances. I felt a bit guilty when I found out that he's a super nice guy. But yeah, I don't watch whatever he's in. Drake is the kind of guy who would be depressed and heartbroken if the 13-year-old he was grooming dumped him for the cute boy on the soccer team. Drake is the kind of guy who would be depressed and heartbroken if the 13-year-old he was grooming dumped him for the cute boy on the soccer team. Drake is the kind of guy who would be depressed and heartbroken if the 13-year-old he was grooming dumped him for the cute boy on the soccer team. Drake is the kind of guy who would be depressed and heartbroken if the 13-year-old he was grooming dumped him for the cute boy on the soccer team. Jennifer Lawrence is not that good of an actress and absolutely does not deserve to have an Oscar and Earl. She just seems obnoxious. I'm sorry. Tom Hanks. I'm sure he's a good person and probably would be a good friend. Seeing him in movies just annoys me. I cannot really explain why. Ryan Reynolds seems nice, but that dude needs to get the fuck out of my radio, podcast, TV. He's marketed like cranberry juice in the 90s. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He seems fake. And I lost mad respect for him when he and Oprah were asking people for money to support Hawaii. Zendaya. Generally bland, one-note performances across the board. Except Euphoria, where she played an unlikable character. Just not a fan. Andy Samberg not funny, Amy Schumer not funny, Adam Sandler not funny, Jim Carrey not watchable, Kevin James. Miley Cyrus. Nothing against him personally, but I don't enjoy Keanu Reeves in movies. He's not a good actor and his fans are unbearable. Claire Danes. I can't pinpoint why. It goes back to my so-called life in the 90s and never changed. Naturally irritates me. Dakota Johnson being a huge creep to her child, female co-star. And that one interview always made me give her the side eye. Paul Giamatti fills me with rage for absolutely no reason at all. Tom Hanks also annoys me, but not as much as Giamatti. Jennifer Lawrence. She seems like a really nice person, but I'm not attracted to her at all, not that she would date me. I hear a lot of people talking up Ellen DeGeneres and James Corden, but personally, I don't care for either of them. Tom Cruise, given he's the poster boy for a child trafficking cult, Scientology for those living under a rock. Dave Grohl. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I also find him to be an obnoxious look-at-me-standing type of guy. Flo. Harbinger of the only form of comedy lower than insurance commercials. I hate her. Timothée Chalamet. He does absolutely nothing for me. Not his physical appearance nor his acting talents. Drake. Taylor Swift. Celebrities in general and people's obsession with them pretty much suck. Rob Schneider. I loved his movies as a kid, but his thoughts on literally everything go against mine.